What is going down? Niner Empire, welcome back to another video. Vikings are going home. 49ers are headed to the NFC Championship after beating the Vikings in the divisional round 27-10 in a just defensive dominance by the 49ers defensive line. And not only the defensive line, but the secondary. Richard Sherman had an interception. Bosa had a sack. D. Ford had a sack. Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, Jeremiah Zettel, or Jeremy Zettel, or whatever his name is. The D-line is nasty. And then Bosa, shout out Bosa for getting up. I honestly thought he was injured, but he was doing it because he was supposed to be a pretending type thing. I get it now. But you scared me, Bosa. But anyways, dominant by the 49ers and the defensive line. Haven't won a playoff game since 2013, and that was in the divisional round. And now, 7 years later, who would have thought it would have been 7 years later? 7 years later, we win the divisional round against the Vikings, and we're going back to the NFC Championship to either face the Green Bay Packers or the Seattle Seahawks. And this feels great. My man, Jimmy G, great game. Yes, he had an interception, but there was something about that interception once he threw it. I wasn't even really worried. I was like, damn, he threw a pick. It was a really bad decision, but honestly, it wasn't all Garoppolo because, it was obviously he's the reason they caused the interception. But with Kendricks coming over them, Kendricks is a top linebacker in the league. He's a great pass coverage linebacker. Or when it comes to the coverage and pass, he excels in that category of linebacker. But when he threw that interception, it was a great play by a great linebacker, but Jimmy didn't really see him. One thing Jimmy did wrong on that was he stared at Debo that whole entire route, and that's what threw it off because Kendricks was looking at him and he knew it was gonna be an interception because he was reading Jimmy Garoppolo the whole entire time on that play. But at the end of the day, that interception, we stopped him and we held him to the field goal. What initially led to the 14-10 going into halftime, and then it was a dominance from the third quarter and the fourth quarter. So we're going back to the NFC Championship. God, that feels great. But overall, Tevin Coleman, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, phenomenal game. This game really came down to the 49ers stopping Dalvin Cook, stopping the rush game and excelling and really it came down to whichever team was going to win was going to have to stop the run the most. And the 49ers stopped the run. 19 rushes for Dalvin Cook. I believe it was 18 yards. Absolutely shut him down. I believe he had 6 catches for 8 yards. So exactly what we needed to do, we did, and that's the reason we won. It came down to whichever team stopped the run game the most, and the 49ers did. For the Vikings defense, they had no answer for Tevin Coleman. 2 touchdowns, like I said, 105 yards, ran all over them. And then obviously in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, it was just a run dominance. Garoppolo didn't even need to throw the football at that point. So Garoppolo, all the pretenders out there, all the analysts, all the experts that picked us to lose this game look like dumbasses now because now we're going back to the NFC Championship, and all those people that doubted Garoppolo, he just won his first playoff game, so I don't know what the hell they're going to have to say now. Hell of a win. I really had a good feeling about this game. I knew we were going to win. I knew it came down to shutting down Dalvin Cook, and we did that against Christian McCaffrey. I don't think Dalvin Cook's a top back, but I don't think Dalvin Cook's as good as McCaffrey. And if we can do that against McCaffrey, sure as hell I knew we could do it against Dalvin Cook, and we did. Hell of a win. I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit closer. We pretty much shut down Kyle Rudolph. Adam Thielen was, I mean, in a way, the only receiver that had really anything to do with Minnesota's offense. Ahkello Witherspoon. Listen, we got the win, and I'm happy, but Ahkello Witherspoon has got to be sitting on the bench for the remainder of the season. And I am happy with the move that Shanahan did initially when he gave up that touchdown to Stephon Diggs. He just doesn't have the hand-eye coordination to be good enough to play the cornerback position. And I don't think the 49ers are going to keep a hold of Ahkello Witherspoon. There's no way in hell. He did great things at the beginning of the season, but he's inconsistent. And the 49ers, I mean, I knew the Vikings were going to pick on him, and benching him when the time needed to was obviously right after he gave up. The 49ers had like a 6-point leash on him, so if he gave up anything over 6 points or at 6 points, they were going to put in Emmanuel Mosley. And Emmanuel Mosley's tough. Hell of a player. And I think he should be the starting corner for the remainder of the 49ers season because he's done more great things in 2 plays than Ahkello Witherspoon has done in games. So I think with sticking with Emmanuel Mosley, I think that's the 49ers' best bet moving forward on into the NFC Championship and hopefully possibly the Super Bowl. So hell of a game. Deebo Samuel came up clutch. Kendrick Bourne had a couple drops that should have been catches for first downs. I believe one was on like a second down. One was on a slant play dropped on a third down. So, but other than that, he had a great game. He had that touchdown catch at the beginning of the game. And the 49ers ate after that. Dominance by Bosa, 2 sacks. He's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. DeRoy Bosa came up huge. He's got to be the defensive rookie of the year. There is no other rookie in his class on defense that is anywhere near his talent yet. And Bosa's playing like he's a veteran in this league, and it's ridiculous. He's an animal. But other than that, it was a pure dominance. But Quan Alexander brought so much energy. D Ford came back with a sack, came back clutch. On that, following that Garoppolo interception where the Vikings faced that third down, D Ford had that sack, which initially led him to kicking that field goal to go into halftime. So clutch play by D Ford there. It's always good having him on the field because not only does he wreak havoc against offensive linemen, but he creates other things for the defense to do. Like, he creates other opportunities for the defensive line to make. Like, he creates opportunities for the interior D-line to get sacks, for Bosa to get more sacks. It's just so much better when he's on the field. And adding Quan Alexander and Jaquiski Tartt on top of that, shutting down Dalvin Cook, just a hell of a game. I believe Bosa and who's the other leading tackler? Bosa had like 5 tackles, and then he had obviously those 2 sacks. I believe Bosa was the leading tackler, actually. Bosa's he's a phenomenal. He comes up always when he's needed most. So, but with that being said, I'm going to watch the remainder of this they're out. The Titans-Baltimore game. Titans are playing really, really well right now. I believe it's 14-6. 14-6. Lamar threw an interception at the beginning of this game, but I don't even give a shit about the AFC. I'm just wanting to send next week, send to the NFC Championship, give us Seattle, give us Green Bay. I don't care who we play. We are destined and ready for anybody coming our way. But it's not going to be any much easier from here. So we got to celebrate, but we got to stay, in game. So, I'm going to actually do a postgame. I'm going to do a postgame on this AFC divisional round game right here, Ravens and Titans. But it's for the Niners. See you guys in the NFC Championship. Bring us the Packers. Bring us the Vikings. Or they're not the Vikings. The Seahawks. We're ready. But yeah, pure dominance today. Happy as hell that the guys got it done. And there was a report that was sent out. It was right when before Quan came back. It was like the 49ers put up like outstanding numbers when Quan Alexander, D Ford, and Nick Bosa were all on the same field. And for them all to be on the same field again, it just wrecks more havoc for the defense. The defense is so good when everybody's healthy and on it, especially adding Quan back, getting D Ford back. Defense is dominant. It's the best in the league. So, see you guys in the NFC Championship. Go Niners, as always. Peace out. Defensive Rookie of the Year.